find a feeling and then notice the number of things in a day that come that represent that feeling. Good feeling or bad feeling. It is so wonderful to be consciously aware that this is coming because of this feeling. And then if you don't like what came, say, I can't change that outcome. I can't move from 100,000 in debt to 100,000 in the black instantaneously, but I do have the ability to change the emotion. I do have the ability to start in a simple enough place that I can find an emotion that feels good, and I do have the knowledge that law of attraction will add the momentum to that, you see. When something doesn't happen and you feel disappointment, something so much better is coming, because now you have this impetus with you too. And if you don't get freaked out in this disappointment and hold it off, it'll come fast. Do you believe us when we tell you that you create your own reality? That there is an environment surrounding you of focused, it's not nebulous, it's focused and specific well-being about you, focused toward you. Do you believe that? Oh, if we could just find a way of helping you to understand, to visualize, to see, to know this stream of well-being that's focused upon the brilliance and the beauty that is you, focused on you all the time, just looking for a crack of a little bit of resistance for the good to get in. But you're saying, I don't have as much money as I want, or I'm misunderstood all the time. In other words, as you're beating the drums, as you're telling it the way you think that it is, then even though Source never lets up, Source never stops watching for the opportunity. So, do you know you create your own reality? Do you know that it's a vibrational universe? Do you know that things are always working out to you, and the evidence of them working out for you is happening in this moment to the degree that you are soft and compliant and allowing it, and that you are the one that builds the shell around you and makes it a rougher ride than it needs to, but you could soften that shell and it would be a less rough ride. Do you get that? And that what is happening to you has nothing to do with anyone else on the planet, except that you're reacting to the way they're reacting to you and messing up what you're doing with your vibrational reality, that with your vibrational environment. It's a climate. It's an environment. It's a state of being. It's the vibrational beingness that you want to work on. And if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would work on it in these ways. We would go to places that feel good as often as we could. And we would acknowledge that it feels good, and we would try to identify what is it about this place that feels so good. In other words, we would not try to solve issues. And we would not get into debates with people who are trying to solve issues. And we would not talk about problems of others with them. And we would not talk about our own problems with anyone else. We would spend our time looking for that central place that feels good, even if it's something as central and basic as the sun came up this morning and that helped me. And the food keeps growing and that helps all of us. And the world keeps turning because it is right that it does. And Source keeps flowing because nothing other than that is natural. And well-being abounds no matter how hard you try to find dark corners of the world. They are small and puny in comparison with the brilliance and the beauty of the world. The well-being is dominant, no matter what anybody is focused upon in the moment. That's just a fact of the way that it is. The well-being is dominant. And as you start focusing yourself in those ways, then the details, those winks from the universe, the details, the specific details, will begin flooding into your experience, and you will notice that you have a cadre, a group of non-physical intelligence who understands the specific and intimate details of your desire, who is inspiring you to a path of least resistance, not just for the outcome that you think you want, but for the pleasure of the unfolding along the way. And then you're going to start making these associations. And then something's going to shift for you. It's going to be like a fulcrum shift. It's going to be like a paradigm shift, and it will feel like this. The details of your life will cause you to feel worthy, because suddenly you'll be reacting to the core of what is good rather than to the anomaly that feels bad. When you set aside proving any worthiness, that takes away a lot of responsibility, and you might as well give it up, because there's nobody standing in counsel for that. So no matter how hard you try to show your worthiness, you're not getting any brownie points with anybody, because there's not that kind of thing going on. When you are trying to explain yourself, when you're trying to explain how you got into this place that you really don't want to be, you're practicing the wrong vibrational dynamic, and you're just going to get more of that till after a while, now that you've heard this conversation, you will grow weary of that repetition. And it is our expectation that you will begin to focus in the moment where all of your power is, more deliberately upon things that you can do something about. We would encourage you, as soon as you can get off to yourself and get a piece of paper and something to write with in your hand, that you would begin identifying for yourself what things you really like to do, what feels good when you do it, and what feels good when you think about it. And let that be the thing that you focus upon for as long as it takes for the universe to deliver to you a whole bunch of stuff that's just like that. Because it is our promise to you. If you will take the time to make that list, the universe will deliver to you a whole bunch of stuff that's just like that list. And through that experience, not through the words that we've been offering here today, but through the universal response to your focused understanding, you will prove to yourself that you are the creator of your own reality and that life is supposed to be good for you.
Hey, so it's not really that important, but I'm interested in kind of things that are a dichotomy where they kind of feel good at points but then also don't feel good at points. So things like I did debate, I did competitive debate, and there were moments of the community and the passion and the co-creation that were really amazing, but then at the same time there's the ingrainedness in the what is that's feels bad. Or like graduate school, I'm about to start graduate school, and I love the whole discussion of institutionalization. I struggled with school for so long, but there's so many things like the focus and the co-creation experience in a classroom and the leading edgeness of school that are so amazing, And it's that moment where I love the beneficial aspects of it, but then the contrast also can take me out of alignment. And I know it's fine and it's all working out, but I guess it's just, do we stop moving forward in order to feel the alignment of not having those experiences, or is it just the swimming around in it? I mean, it feels like the swimming around in it's what's the point is, because it's those are the moments of joy, those are the moments when you are in it, So, but at the same time, the negative manifestations that kind of occur because of that misalignment seem to be a counterbalance to that. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. So let's chew on this just a little bit. What do you think your overall feeling is about being engaged in that co-creative dance, as you said, at graduate school or in school? And we're just going to ask you some questions just to flesh that out. Do you feel eager and excited about the life that is before you?
Yeah.
So your balance is so in place that probing around in stuff, even if it's current events, is not big enough in relationship to how you feel about life that it's going to be too unsettling to you, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So as you're exploring all of these things and talking about the things that you were talking about, social injustices or things in the world that aren't working as well as you would like them to, still your optimism is so supreme because you largely know that you're here for improvement. And so poking around in the problem is known by the whole of you as part of the improvement process, part of the joyous creative process. So the emphasis that you feel, the majority of what you feel, is the aliveness, the social interaction, the co-creative dance, the brilliant minds coming together, the insights that are occurring to you, your inner being. Here's a good way of saying it. Your inner being will come to the party, will come to the debate, and make you brilliant, even if you're talking about the side of the proposition that you don't want to support.
Totally.
Isn't it interesting? Because that's the game you're playing. In other words, in this game, I'm going to take this discussion to a whole new level, and I'm going to make them see something that they've never seen before, and I have the resources to do that. In other words, my inner being, does that mean, yes, we're having a little party here on our own. Does that mean that my inner being would actually help me in the promotion of a step one moment?
Yeah.
Would it? Would your inner being actually help you to get clearer about what you don't want as in a debate so that you can give birth to what you do want? Really? Now, we haven't been there before, have we? In other words, this manifestation, this fullness of who you all are. In other words, this whole conversation is you can't get it wrong and you never get it done. And as long as you're feeling mostly fun and joy about what you're doing, then keep doing it that way, you see.
Totally.
We don't ever want you to say, oh, I study this spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
Which means it's like being a vegan.
Yeah.
We love you very much. But you're so pure about what you eat, you're not eating anything that tastes good.
Totally.
And we don't want you to be such a purist in your thoughts that you're isolating yourself off into this corner where I'm a spiritual person and so I should not be having that thought. And we say a lot of those thoughts lead to other thoughts and
Totally.
other thoughts, it's like saying I'm an artist and I will deprive myself of most of the mediums that are available to me because I disapprove of them in this way and this way and this way and this way. And we say then you're going to miss out on a lot of the delicious, magnificent things that you will be creating if you deprive yourself of the resources of creation.
Totally. And I guess, too, I feel like I love kind of the work of being in contrast and stabilizing your vibration in that place because it feels amazing.
Say that again, because those are the most perfect words that we've ever heard. Being in contrast and stabilizing my vibration.
Totally, because it's like you can be on a beach and feel good, but it's that moment of like being in a situation where you're not on a beach and still feeling amazing that feels really great, you know? But I'm wondering too, like when it's just more beneficial to let go. Like I was
the moment that it feels uncomfortable.
Okay. Well, like so I volunteered doing HIV testing, and initially it felt good because I loved providing that space of relief for people and just kind of being there in that moment. And that was kind of right when I started. That was a year ago, right when I kind of found you. And then it's like as I've progressed in my understanding of the law of attraction, I'm feeling. Because there's so much socialization in our community around HIV that I'm realizing for myself personally that might not be the best thing for me to be consistently.
Well, there's no risk to you emotionally or vibrationally, but there are better feeling things for you to spend your time focusing on.
Totally.
And you are not in any way turning your back on something or not offering service. To offer service in one way rather than another is still part of the uplifter that you are. In other words, there's a tendency to think that I should do it, and the question always should be, do I want to do it? And the reason that I want to do it is such a good question is because your inner being has very strong opinions about what is wanted by you, because you've been putting the pieces of it over there into your vortex, and your inner being stands as the full knower of what you want to do. So if you are letting your desire lead you, and so it led you to that, but it will lead you beyond that, and it will lead you beyond that, and it will lead you beyond that, and it will lead you beyond that. You can't stand still very long anywhere because your expansion is rapid.